And so that's what Hope to Heal is all about. We hope that you heal in the process of going through. We hope that as we continue to choose to love you, as we salute you, as we pray for you, that you're going to be healed through all these processes, that you're going to be healed as you go.
But, it's seasons where you got to go hard at that season and not be scared to do the work that's necessary, but also you have to be okay with the slow down season too, and be diligent to make time to slow down. Welcome to another edition of Be Great Podcast. Today I have a special guest, a young lady who has done so many great things, and I'm so pleased to have her here. My friend, my cousin now. I just found out we're family. Her name is Miss Akya Canada. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It's so good to see you. It's so great.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. We're going to Be Great Podcast, so let's be great.
Yes. If you would mind, tell the people a little bit about Miss Akya. Tell her who she is.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Akya Canada, the Queen of the Queen City. I don't take it lightly. I take it very seriously. So that's why you see me. I'm an inspirational artist. I'm a mommy. I'm an author. I am the it girl for Jesus. I'm a Jesus girl all day. Yes. That's who I am. That's what I do. I'm from the streets. I'm in the church, but I'm still out here in these streets. Y'all already know. Yeah. We gotta show love to get love, so we can be who God has created us to be. We love God and we love His people, and that's who I am.
Wow. That's all. That's enough said right there. Yeah. Well, honestly, it's just a pleasure. Actually, we met each other back some time ago. We had an event, and you sung there, and you did a phenomenal job. And I tell you, you really have used your gifts to give God glory. Yes. And so this kind of back us up. Even before we start talking about the Akya we know now, let's talk about some of your, right before your transition, and kind of where you were in your life, and then kind of what led you into that new place.
Before the transition, I was a hot mess. Let me tell you, no, seriously. Started out, I was adopted before I was 2, so I wasn't raised with my family. Then I had my daughter, out of wedlock. I'm a PK kid, so you already know what that's about. But within that, I worked in the club industry. I worked from the strip club, the regular club, all that. That's what I did. I was in the trap. The guys that I talked to, they were in the streets. That's who I was. That's what I did. And before the transition, my best friend had just got shot and killed right in front of me. I went through a lot. I lost my grandma in the same time. I lost one of my best friends. So I lost 3 major pillars to me within a span of 6 months. So I had a nervous breakdown. I went through a lot. Like, it was crazy. But I thank God that He kept me in my right mind. And He, my dad was an angel to me. And so that's where I was before the transition. I was doing R&B hip hop music. I was in a group called The Thoroughbreds with Nikki B. So we did a lot. We were from everywhere to everywhere, just all over the place. But that's what I did. I tell people all the time, I probably would have been a millionaire probably 2 times over by now with the money I was making in the streets. But God, He stripped all that and was like, nah, you're going to do it my way. So been building from the ground up ever since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm glad to see something earlier that you was adopted.
Yeah.
And so now through that adoption, we just recently found out we had some family.
Yeah, related.
And so let's kind of just go a little bit there, and then we kind of maybe share with people how we kind of find out about ourselves. But if you would mind, let's kind of share with it from the standpoint of were you adopted at birth, or were you adopted later on in life? How did it go?
Okay, so the story is my grandmother didn't like my biological mom. Okay. Crazy, right? It happens. It's real life, y'all. People be out here beefing for who knows what. But the situation was my mom had dropped me off at my dad's house. I had to be between 1.5, 2, because I was adopted right at 2. So I don't even remember my parents, any of that. So they said that she called Child Protective Services because my mom, single parent, single mom, my dad, he was out here too. And she was trying to make him be a dad. And she was like, I ain't finna watch this girl, not in a negative way, y'all, so don't, none of that. But it was like, this your baby, you gonna help me raise her. Yeah. Come on. I was on the porch. My grandma called Child Services. I ended up walking down the street, somebody picked me up. And so ended up going into foster care. The woman who wanted to adopt me, Mama Georgia, that's what I call her, that's my grandma, she wasn't able to adopt me. So they said that she was too old. She took care of me. I mean, to the day she left this earth, she took care of myself, and even when I had my daughter. And the church she was attending, the pastor, which is my dad, Reverend Canada, Dr. Canada, and Betty Canada, he saw me, he was like, that's my daughter. And I was like, now thinking of it as I'm older, it's like, wow, like God will show you who you are and whose you are. You know, you never know. So through that whole transition, they had to go through classes, through the adoption agency to get me and things like that. And I was finally adopted when I was 2 years old. So her pastors ended up adopting me, and that's how it was. Wow. Yeah.
God always seems to take what it seemed to be the worst of things, even before you even knew about it, and made something great that birthed who you are now.
Yeah. And what's so wild about it now is that I laugh. I said, well, Lord, you really gave me the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, because you gave me my natural parents, my biological mom and my biological dad. Then you gave me my first set of spiritual parents, which are my parents that raised me. And then I have my bishop and my pastor, Bishop Antonio, Pastor Marcella Booker. It's like you really gave me the Holy Trinity. Like, so you really covered me on all sides. So even if when I did go left, when I went all the way out there, you still had me covered on every side. And I said, who would have thought? My dad's a preacher, my mom's a teacher, so you put it in me either way. Though my natural parents couldn't give it to me, my spiritual parents give it to me. They still gave me something that I could learn and gain from what I had to work through, because I had to work through what was in the bloodline. I'm still working through that, but I'm a bloodline curse breaker, so I have to work through that. So at the end of the day, come to find out, biological dad, you're my cousin on my biological dad's side, right? Crazy, but that's how he works. That's how he works.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, let's stay even there, because I want to kind of find out, because I know me, I grew up in, a lot of my family was in the church and things like that, but at some point in time, I say, hey, when I got my teens, I wanted to do things a little different. I wanted to run the boys in the streets without going off of Bakersford in the village townhouses. And, you know, even though my mom's, we couldn't go so far. We couldn't get too far in the street. Mom would break a broom across your head. But, you know, still was a boy, you know, so I tried to push the limits. But with you, what was it that, even though you had parents who were showing you one way, that you say, I'm going to kick against the pricks a little bit? Right. What was that for you?
I went against the grain because it was in my nature. My natural nature, my natural DNA, it was in there. So we wrestle with what our parents wrestle with. We wrestle with that, and that's real. What your mama might have had a taste for, what your daddy might have had a taste for, whatever's in the bloodline, eventually it's gonna rise up in you too. And so I was like, at that time, I didn't really know who I was. I was going against the grain. I was fighting. I was doing all kind of stuff. And at one point in time, I was like, yeah, we're not finna do that. I had to go to a group home. I stayed in a group home for 3 years. Like 9th, 10th, 11th, I graduated from high school living in a group home. And so my mom was like, oh, you want to run like that? Okay, bye. She sent me all the way to Rockwell with cows and everything else, Nazareth Children's Home. And I laugh at that too, because in the Bible, where was Jesus from? Right? And it's like, yo, this is really playing out in my life. Like, this is crazy. And so it was like, I was at the group home. I was still trying to find myself. And even after I got done in the group home taught me structure. The group home taught me how to, you gotta face things. You gotta face it to erase it. At that time, I was a manipulator. I was a liar. I did whatever I had to do to get, my mouth could talk me into whatever I wanted. It could talk me into it and it could talk me out of it. But at that time, it was just like, I kept running into brick walls and I couldn't understand. And then my mama was like, before you hurt us, before you put me in my grave, I'm going to send you off somewhere. And that's what she did. And I literally had to learn structure. I had to learn the no. Akya, you can't. We won't. I stayed on restriction for a whole year and a half because I couldn't get it together. But then when I met my biological family, I saw where some of these tendencies came from. The pride, the manipulation, I'm gonna say being spoiled. my dad spoiled. My mama, she came up hard. She lost her mom at 33, so she did the best she could do with my siblings. Because I wrestled with, well, why was I the only one that got adopted? Why couldn't I be raised with y'all? And God was like, no, I had something else set aside for you, Joseph. You couldn't. You needed to go get this and get instilled with this and get this seed put in you so when time came, you could be the deliverer. Wow. So I went through a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about how did you get connected with your family, your biological family?
Through prayer.
Okay.
Literally through prayer. And I used to write letters. And I remember one time I was a teenager and I got mad at my mom and I used to write letters to my real mom. Mm-hmm. And those weren't the nicest letters because I was talking about the people that were raising me. And my mom found those letters. She was just like, but it was like, that was what was in me. Think about it. A child that's never met their real mom, but you know you have one. So you have all these questions. And I'm like, why didn't you, Like, I hate it here. Like, all this kind of stuff. But it was in me because it was like, I dealt with rejection. I dealt with abandonment. I dealt with those issues. And it was just like, that was my way of trying to express, like, why me? So it was a lot.
Wow. So when you got connected to your family, how did that come about? How did you find
dating this guy that was in the streets.
Okay.
Right? Crazy. And I wrote it in letters. I always said, I'm going to meet my family. I'm going to meet my natural family. I had to be about 23, 24 when I met my biological family. Met this guy, I was talking to him, and I was just talking about my family. Yeah, my family, they the Mingos, they the Currencies, And his sister was like, Mingo? I was like, yeah, I knew my brother's name. I looked my brother up online, he had a mugshot. So happened, And I was like, dang, that's my brother. I didn't know they were in Charlotte though. Wow. Never knew they were here. I didn't know where my family was. But my parents that raised me, they never kept that from me. I knew I was adopted in the 3rd grade. I knew I was special. They told me I was special. Yeah. They made a whole announcement about my adoption, bringing in this beautiful baby girl, Akya Canada, all this information. It was like I was royalty coming into the family. And that's how they treated me. They told me when I was in 3rd grade, they told me I was special. They didn't even know who my parents were because my adoption was closed. So, they didn't know anything. And so at the end of that, dating this guy, his sister happened to be best friends with my brother. That's how it came about. And she was like, yo, I can take you to their house right now. I'm sitting in their house like, what? You gonna do what? She was like, yeah, I know what they say. I was like, are you serious? Thinking in my mind, this is something that I prayed for. That's how I know, like, prayer works. God will give you what you ask for. Like, whether you're prepared for it or not, if you pray for it, eventually it's going to happen. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. Me, I don't care. I'm wild. She takes me around there. She knocked on the door. She's like, you going to say something? I'm like, nope. I just want to see. She knocked on that door. The woman opened up the door and I looked like this. I was literally looking at my face. I don't know if she knew that was me when she opened that door, but I know she hit one of them numbers like, man, I didn't say nothing. We got to the door, she opened it. The girl asked for my brother. Oh, is Khalil here? Da 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 da. She was like, yeah. She was like, okay, we came to see him. So he came to the door. I'm looking at my brother like, dang, we look alike. He was like, come on in. So we in the house. I'm sitting, looking around. I see all these pictures. My younger sisters, my brother, my mom, like, and I'm like, wow. We all look alike. And I'm like, dang, that's my face. Wow. That's my face. I didn't say anything. And she looked at me. She was like, you good? And I was like, and she was talking to my brother. She was like, all right, we getting ready to go. So we walked out the door. And I was like, nah, I can't let this go by. I was like, I gotta say something. I gotta say something. Like, went back to the door. I'm up at the door by myself. I'm turning around, looking at her. I'm like, you got my back? If this lady go AWOL, like, we good? She opened up the door. She was like, yes. And I was like, oh, they gonna cuss me out. I was like, I'm your daughter. And she looked. I was like, my name is Kia. And it was like, the door just opened. She was like, come in the house. Like my mama, she hard now. She don't play no games. But it was like, wow. Like either you gonna speak up or you gonna forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is something I've always asked God for. I want to meet them before I leave this earth. I want to meet them. Yeah. She brought me in the house. By the time that night came, she called all my aunts and uncles. I got 14 aunts and uncles. Everybody with Khadijah here, Khadijah, because like my name was changed. Oh. So they came to the house, everybody hugging, loving, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like a kid in a candy store. You would never imagine like the things I was praying for and asking, it's happening. And so that's one thing that really led me to understand, like, I'm really an intercessor. Because I was in church at that time too. But it was like, nah, God hear my prayers. Like, this is dope. My mama ended up taking me to my daddy's house. My daddy stayed right over like Delahaye Courts. Like all these people are around me and I'm not even knowing. And so it's just crazy. My dad come out the house crying. Okay. And my mama, she just stood there. He was like, that was my first time seeing your mama since she got taken. That's over 23, 24 years ago. So I come back, me and my baby. So yeah, it was crazy.
Man, that's awesome.
It was crazy.
That's awesome. So how's your relationship with the family now?
It's cool. Okay. It's cool. My mom, the one that raised me, she always says, you make your relationship what you want it to be. Mm-hmm. That's how you have to go about it. Yeah. You can't expect or not expect or have an expectation of people. She was like, sometimes that's not realistic. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to meet people right where they are and you take it for what it is. Yeah. So I'm learning to take it as it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was listening to you. And I know my mom was the same way. She was. And I appreciate my mom wasn't so like soft on us. Mm-hmm. You know, I had them type moms. She loved the Lord, but she ain't never say sorry. My mom,
that's hard.
You did something. That's the type of mind. So whatever, if you didn't do this one, you did something. So it was just that type of mom. But I appreciate the toughness that allowed me to realize life is not easy. Mm-hmm. Not what you always wanted to be, but you have to take what you got and make it work for you.
Absolutely.
And totally agree. But that's great. So let me just kind of fast forward to where you are now. And so, like I said, we met through you being an artist. So I know you've done some things. And I don't know if you grew up in the church singing and other things like that. I know you act, you do all those type of things. So where did that gifts really kind of resonate, and where did you start discovering that?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I was singing at 6, not by my own will, because I did not like to sing at all. I was not the one that wanted to be in the choir. Okay. Leave me alone. Let me be with my grandma. Let me sit out here and get baby. Okay. That was me. But my mom, she played the piano. She was the choir director, so we had to sing. My dad's the preacher. We had to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. But I was singing in the choir at 6, and then I'm the dancer. I love to dance. That's all I wanted to do. Dance, gymnastics, but I got put out of gymnastics because I ran my mouth too much and I was always doing whatever I wanted to do. So that was my biggest thing. I did jazz, I did tap and things like that, but I started doing liturgical dance at 13, and then I ended up having a team at 16. So it just kind of, that's how it all started. But I really didn't start the music thing until like 2008. And that's when I was in the hip hop R&B group, the Thoroughbreds. And that's how I was started. And every time I would sing or something like that, they'd be like, girl, you know you're supposed to be doing church music. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. I want to do what I want to do and you're going to leave me alone, period. So it was just like, that's what it was. And then I met my brother, Kojak, my dad's son. And he was a big rapper in Charlotte. I did not know that, but they were, oh, your brother, Kojak the Black Mac, he always winning all the battles on Power 98, Loney, all that stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, really? And when I met him, he had me singing and doing stuff. So we stayed in the studio together. And he was like, sis, you know you can rap. And I was like, no, I can't rap. And he was like, it's in you. And I was like, okay. He said, try it. And ever since then, I've been singing and rapping. It's just like, and I was like, ooh, I really can. He was like, I told you, it's in you. And then that's when he had to tell me about the current side. He was like, we got singers in the family, we got authors in the family, we got preachers in the family, we got everything in the family. So what really makes it full circle for me is that though God had me in a different family, he still prepared me with the things that my natural family has. And had and still has to this day. So it's just like, wow, this is really full circle.
Awesome. That's on my side, and I'm not sure how we all tie yet, but this on my mother's side of the family. My mother's a counselor, and all her brothers are pastors or preachers and stuff like that, which is 4 of them. And then, and not only that, of course, I met you because we started talking about Rudy, which he's a great, phenomenal singer. Yeah. And so y'all done things together in the past, and so that's how I knew about that. And of course, like Donald Lawrence and others out there. So yeah, we definitely. And I can sing a little bit, but I ain't.
Okay,
I can hold the beat. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna lead you, but you know what I'm saying. I got a little bit in there, but I do have an ear for it, and I know great talent. So and producing, and that's there, and so definitely. It's in us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in us. And so, But on another note, I know you still do cosmetology. How did you come about knowing that's the lane you wanted to go into?
I was 11. And I just started doing hair. But my grandma, Mama Georgia, the woman who wanted to adopt me, she saw it in me.
Okay.
And she would be like, Kia, I need you to, because my grandma, she dealt with issues of having sugar and things like that. So sometimes she couldn't paint her nails, or sometimes she couldn't, as she got older, she couldn't do her hair. So I stayed with her all the time. You had your mama's little boys and your daddy's girls. I was my grandma's baby. I stayed with my grandma. And so it was like, she taught me. I would paint her nails, I would do her hair and things like that. And so it was like she was cultivating that in me as I would be over there with her. And then I started doing my mama's. And then I started braiding on the dolls. I cut my sister's Barbie doll's hair off and she was hot. My older sister, she was mad. So I just got a feel for it. And I was like, I like this. I like the fact of being a boss, my own entity, my own person. I like that. And so when we had career days in high school, I would dress up and I would be like, I'm a cosmetologist. I knew what I wanted to do. So I was either going to go to school and run track, or I was going to do hair. And so I had scholarships to go to school, but I decided to do hair. And it was like, I've been running with it ever since.
Okay. That was amazing. That's crazy too, because my grandmother, cosmetologist, had a shop right up the street from here for many years. That's all I ever knew her to do. My mother went to school for cosmetology.
Okay.
And I can do hair.
Okay.
I can do little hair. You do perms and stuff like that.
Okay, perms. Now, curly perms with the rollers or relaxers.
Yeah, back in the day, we had them Jerry curl.
Okay.
I knew it. I grew up in the house with it, so but yeah, so that's in my family pretty deep. Quite a few layers of individuals who in cosmetology too. So yes, we definitely have that there too. So
cool.
Yeah. So let me just ask you, because now you do cosmetology and you as an artist, you also act. Are you still doing some acting still?
Yes.
Awesome. You and my wife was in a play together, and it was like, wow, girl, she bad.
Temptation. Shout out to Kamisha Ebron. Yes.
Did an awesome job as one of the lead actors in that play, and that was with Willie Moe. And had a great.
Had a great cast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so let me ask you this: how did that come about?
Kamisha. It was all Kamisha.
Well, you acting, did you start there?
Yeah. She put me in my first gospel stage play. She saw something in me. That's why I said so many people, they assisted in cultivating and nurturing the gifts that I felt like I didn't even have.
Wow.
Because when she saw me, she was like, no, you have something. And I was like, no, I really don't. And she was like, yes, you do. She was like, come audition for me. And this was back in 2009, 2010. And that's when I did the first big show at the Halton Theater. And it was like, since then, it was like, so doing gospel stage plays has taken me to the whole East Coast. It's taken me to Canada. It's taken me a lot of places. And I'm just grateful. Yeah, I literally just got a call yesterday about a stage play that they're about to turn into like a series, and they were like, we want you back. And I'm like, Lord, I was like, let me pray about that today, Lord, because I've been asking about it. So I just thank God for every opportunity and the people that saw greatness in me when I didn't see it in myself. Because when she saw me, I was literally still in the club. Like I was so deep in the club, it didn't make any sense. Like, let me tell y'all something. Your girl first tithe was my money from the club, okay? I came in with dollars, $5, $20. If you got it, tithe it. If you don't tithe, you will not survive, I'm telling you. That's the only way. And my first lady, she be like, you worked at the club? Yes. She didn't care about that. She was like, continue your process, because she knew it was my process. And I've always been authentic. I'm not gonna keep nothing from nobody. They knew when I was hungover. They knew when I was at whatever club I was at. They knew, but they still covered me. So I'm grateful for that. And for all leaders, all teachers, all people in a position of leadership, when you see your people going through their process, continue to still cover them. They still need to be covered no matter what. It's a process. It's a journey. Nobody's great. Nobody's perfect, but still cover them and love them through it all.
Awesome. You hit on some good stuff right there. I kind of want to go that one way, then I kind of want to go this way. But just through that, though, I'm reading a book called 10X. It's easier than 2X. But even before I go there with the conversation, I do want to say that's something my pastor I love about him. He has a story of being in the street, being there and all that. He said I sold so much crack until I became my biggest customer.
Wow.
And so that was one of the things that even he could relate to. Hey, you may still have some things that I'm gonna love you through where you are. I know you to decide to want to change that.
Yeah.
It's not so much I'm just pointing a finger at you, but love is what we all been called to. And I like that approach versus me just digging into your I gotta hide the bill. No, you're gonna steal a drink. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fake front of me. This be who you are, but I'm looking through that process that you see is other ways out.
Absolutely.
And so that's so big. And I think that's another way of doing things.
Yes, it is.
And so let me ask you this. I know you say you're still in the streets, you're doing some things there. So I kind of want to ask you about, what does that look like for you? What are you out there? You say you're in the streets. What does that look like?
I'm just out there giving love.
Okay.
So my foundation is called Hope to Heal Foundation. We meet people right where they are and love them through it all. That is what I do. That's who I am. That's how I got to where I am. Somebody loved me through everything. From the baby mama drama, from the club stuff, from being evicted 3 times, somebody loved me through my process. So me being in the streets, that's what that looks like. I do the I Choose Love event. That's when we go out into the community and we feed. I feed hot meals, hot food. We have people that come out and give care packages. We have a DJ. I want to love you like God loves me, because that's how we're going to get you, your soul, and get you back to where you need to be. I want to love you that way. So we have our I Choose Love event where we do that. We give back to the community. We also have the prayer walk that we do every year. We saturate poverty-stricken neighborhoods with prayer. How do we conquer what the enemy is trying to do? We can't naturally fight it, so we spiritually fight it. Yeah. So we band together in prayer. Like I told you, me being in the streets, me being adopted, me being a single mom, that birthed the prayer warrior out of me. That birthed the intercessor, because when I couldn't call on my baby daddy, when I couldn't call on the people that I worked for in the club, when I couldn't call on my mama, because she was like, I'm giving you to the Lord. Don't call me. When I couldn't call on her, I had to call on him. So that's where the prayer birthed out. That's where the intercessor rose up. And so now I want to teach that to my community. Yeah. They see me walking. They're like, oh, that's the girl that be praying. You want prayer right now? Let's go. And when I go in my community, I love it. Because they're like, oh, that's the girl that do such a... It's not even about that. I like the fact that God is here. And God is in the midst. And come on, what's up? Yeah. And that's how I'm getting, what's up? I'm here for it all. So it's just like, we do the prayer walks. We do the salute to single moms every year. And that's just because there was a Mother's Day that I was like, hey, I don't get nothing for Mother's Day. Baby mamas mostly don't get nothing for Mother's Day, if you really think about it. Because 9 times out of 10, the baby mama not with the baby daddy. Yeah. And the baby daddy ain't going to salute the one that's taking care of the kids. Feel me? So I have to salute those mothers that are out here doing that. Right. So we do that every year. Salute to single moms. That's just showing you, baby, I see you. I got you. What's up? And so that's what Hope to Heal is all about. We hope that you heal in the process of going through. We hope that as we continue to choose to love you, as we salute you, as we pray for you, that you're going to be healed through all these processes, that you're going to be healed as you go. So, yeah.
Wow. You gave me another perspective, because I never thought about I have a son at age 15. Mm-hmm. I had never thought about his moms and I may have, I can't think back that far, but my son's 33 now. But wow, that's a different look on that. And so I'm challenging myself and having a conversation with my wife. And maybe we might want to try to do something about that.
Yeah.
But that's something that, because until you're exposed to the truth, you don't know to make that move. And that's like, wow, that's a good look on it. Like I say, now that I know, I should be acknowledging, this is Mother's Day. Now I think about my wife, think about my mom.
Yeah.
My baby mom, I ain't talking
right. Everybody think about the baby mom. These baby moms, we good. It's so much that's great.
Wow.
Can't forget about us because we still have kids.
Sure.
Period.
It's something right in front of you, just want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
But once now that you've been exposed to truth, so now what can you do with it?
Yeah.
Now you got to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, so now let me ask you this, because Mother's Day is right around the corner. Is that something that you have going on during that time?
Right now, what we're doing this year, I'm on a hiatus this year.
Okay.
Literally, I was down at the beginning of the year with a sickness, like, I don't know what tried to attack me, but I was literally down from December 15th all the way, literally almost to the end of January. I went and did all these flyers, all these events, because I knew my itinerary for the whole year. And God said, well, I'm glad you did your itinerary, but you can't execute anything. So he told me nothing this year. And I have not been able to do anything. But now I see why. Because I've had to connect with other people, do for other people, pour into other people. And I wouldn't have been able to do that trying to do my own stuff. So he was like, this is your season to give out. This is your season to put into somebody else. And it's just kind of like, okay, Lord, I get it. But then he's opened my eyes to new things in me and new things that I can be like, okay, all right. And then it's a time to rest.
Yes.
I don't rest. And people are like, girl, how you keep going? You like the Energizer Bunny. I have to rest. And then I have to know what am I actually going to do when I'm not doing what God has called me to do? Am I going to backslide because I'm not as busy as I normally am? Mm-hmm. Am I going to start doing the stuff that I used to do that I know I ain't supposed to be doing? What you going to do when God tells you to pause for the cause?
Wow.
Right.
That's good.
That part. So it's been difficult because I'm a doer. I'm a doer. And so I'm grateful that I've been able to help other people, assist my church, my outreach. And that was one thing. God was like, everything that you pour into yours, pour into your church. Go that hard too. And I do. And sometimes I feel like I go harder for other people than I do myself. Yes. But it is what it is, because when God sees you being faithful building somebody else's vineyard, He gonna take care of you. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to see that, because that's something I laugh, because that's me too. Like, I was thinking about even today, I was hitting hard, and it still ain't over when I leave this. I'm like, wow. But it's season. The season where you gotta go hard at that season and not be scared to do the work that's necessary, but also you have to be okay with the slow down season too, and be diligent to make time to slow down, to recoup.
Absolutely.
Things like that. And so now that you say you're in a transition season where you're definitely sowing to others, what is something that you say, okay, that you look forward to, I guess, as you go forward? Because you say you are a mother. Now you have a daughter, son. Who do you have?
I do. I have a daughter. I have a beautiful daughter. She is 18 years old. She's a freshman at Johnson C. Smith University. She's a good girl. She's so good. And that's what I'm just being a mommy right now. Like, we had a hard week last week. God allowed me the opportunity to buy my daughter a car. Okay. Right? My daughter hasn't even had her car a whole month. Somebody totaled her car on Thursday. Man. And my daughter has just been distraught. And I told her, I said, if God gave us this, He gonna come back and give you something better. And the thing about it is, God is trying to do something in her. So me being mommy, I'm trying not to get in the way of His process with her.
Yes. Now, this 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you knew about the storm that happened here.
The hail. I
lost 2 vehicles. And some damage. So even through that, I would say, nobody got hurt. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's some things like, okay, materials come and go. Yeah. But still, the fact is, how's your daughter's health?
She's great. I think the thing that got her the most, that car meant something to her. She was like, Mommy, that was my first car. And I'm like, baby, we can get another car. I can't get another year.
Yes, that's the way you got to see it.
So she's coming around.
Oh, yeah.
She's coming around. So I'm still sitting in words of encouragement. I'm calling, I'm praying, and her family is checking on her. So that support is there. Yeah. Now she got all sides. My mama's side, my daddy's side, my family that raised, my church family. It's the support. It's the support. And I think that's the biggest thing that people can have now is support. It's not about the finances. It's not what you can give me, just support.
Yeah.
Your support could be a text message. Your support could just call, hey sis, I was thinking about you. I love you. You never know. It's the support.
Well, that's awesome. I do want to talk about this your effect when you so infectious when you go into the atmosphere. You like when you went to the high school and the kids, of course, they love you. You just have that natural when you just be yourself and you just have that energy to just to let yourself be authentic. And have you say you have always been like that. But let me just ask you this: how, knowing that that's your gift, how do you see yourself? Using that gift to really go into your future. Do you have a platform where you say, I'm going to be a speaker, a preacher? Do you have God start revealing to you some of those things?
Well, I'm not going to say it. I want to backpedal for a minute because there was a season in my life that I wasn't free to be me. Okay? I was in a place where people put on me what they wanted me to be. Oh, you're going to do this. Oh, you're going to do this. Oh, you should look like this. Oh, you should look like that. And it took me years to take all of that off to be the person you can see today because I was trying to fit, because I was trying to be in this mold. And it was just like, yeah, this ain't it. Let me take this off. Yeah. This does not fit me. So now I'm just to the point of you can like it or love it, or you can like it and leave it. This is me. At the end of the day, I am Miss I Can't Lose. Why can't I lose? Because I win. The fight is fixed for me, if you like it or not. At the end of the day, I'm going to wear my ripped up denim. I'm going to wear a sundress if I feel like it. I might even wear my natural hair out. You like, dang girl, I know you had that hair because you wear them braids. It's quite all right. I might be with makeup, I might not. But at the end of the day, God says, I want you to be beautifully and wonderfully made. This is how I created you, Akya. I didn't create you to look like Instagram. I didn't create you to look like this person over here. I created you to look like Akya. So why are you trying to put that other stuff on? It don't fit. And when you find out it doesn't fit, you're going to find out it doesn't fit because you're going to get frustrated with yourself. You're like, man, this don't even, why am I even over here with these people? Why do I dress like, this ain't even how I look, honey. So it's just like, when I step into a room, I have to step in like me. Who am I? Akya Canada. The queen of the Queen City, and I pick up myself, the mother of the nations, eventually. Nevertheless, but at the end of the day, I have to esteem myself. Confidence and beauty comes from within. At the end of the day, Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you. He knows his plans for me. So the plans I try to make or conjure up myself, they not gonna work. I know every hair on your head. I formed you in your mother's womb. So if you formed me in my mama's womb, why am I trying to be out here being something that I'm not? You didn't form me like that. So that's just where I am now. I'm free. I walk in victory. I walk in freedom. If you don't like that, take that up with Jesus. Don't take that up with me. And that's just how I am. And it's just like, you have to be like this because the world will make you feel like you have to conform. I don't. And so I don't have to sound like you. I don't have to look like you. Me looking like you, does that look like him? And if it doesn't look like him, then I'm all in the wrong lane. I'm supposed to look like him. Good, bad, or indifferent. I should mirror him. If I'm not mirroring him, who am I mirroring?
That's good. What you just said, I heard that Bishop J said, why be a cheap copy when you can be a great original? And so, not saying that what you do is anything like anyone else's. And even when I'm saying, some people say, well, you're supposed to be a preacher. So when I came out of my mother, that's not what I was. Even though preaching is what I do, that's not who I am. That may be a phase of what I do, but I'm so much more. So I think about, even though David was told that he was going to be a king, even though that was one of the phases or one of the roles, but he was so much more than just that one function. And so, but also knowing that what God is calling you towards, you want to accept that what you know that you're good at. prime example. Here recently, last Sunday, they started releasing the fact that looking for some deacons.
Gotcha.
I might want to do that. So I haven't been a deacon before. But God said, sit down. Sit down.
Right.
He sit down. I ain't tell you to go back over there. You didn't did that before. So what I'm taking you doesn't mean you have to go back to what you're used to. Be okay with the growth when I'm taking you. Don't be so fast to want to go do something because you can do that well. It's something you can do, eyes closed. But be okay with the change, the elevation I'm taking you. And of course, I may not know all that, but I do know communication is the direction God's taking you. Speaking is going to be empowerment. I do know those are the areas that He got me in that thread. Now, I have not been revealed to the fullest, but I know what I shouldn't be doing because it's not lining up to where I know God has shown me in this season. And so that was more where I was asking the question, where is it that this is the lane, what is not the lane? Because you're, of course, communication, you're an artist. So I see that as being the lane that God is using you to be able to share your gift, to be able to draw individuals in, to know who God is by allowing you to shine your light in those spaces. And so, like I said, you're looking to be still continue your acting. You still doing your singing as well?
Yes, so we just literally Wednesday, we just finished and finalized one of the last songs on the EP.
Wow.
So we're sending that out, get mixed and mastered, because it's been a minute. It's been over 2 years since I've dropped something, a full EP. The last single I dropped was in September. That was Do It, featuring David Hooks. Super excited about that. And y'all, let me tell y'all, if y'all haven't gone to download Do It yet, go download it today.
Yes.
So make sure you do that. And it's 808s, your trunk gonna be rattling the street. You can turn that up and ride through the hood, and they gonna be like, oh, who is that? You just like, that's Akya Canada and David Hooks. But we're getting back into it, and I'm so excited because the enemy tried to kill me. Like, literally killed me and my daughter and two of my friends. And it's just like, oh, you was coming like that? I'm coming for blood. So you think you're gonna do that? I'll show you one better. So I'm really on a place of, Lord, however you want me to get these souls, I'm going. I don't care. I don't care what he tried to do, what's going on. And what was so funny, I said that, but then when my daughter had her accident, God used her in a way, even around her friends. It was like, you still trying to comfort me, but you trying to get my seed. No, brother, you can't get my seed. She said, Mommy, when we got into the accident, she said, when the truck hit us, she said, the only thing I knew to do was say the blood of Jesus. I said, that's all I need to hear. Because at the end of the day, you got to know your seed will speak up. And my seed is speaking. So you think you're going to try me, try her, and try the people around? No, we're not going to do that. And when we drop this music, this is a kingdom sound that's going international, national. I'm telling y'all, get the single, do it right now. Get the single, I Can't Lose. Sing, I Can't Lose is a mantra. I came up with I Can't Lose literally 2 a.m. I had just got off of work, working in a club. Producer called me in. I had my homegirl go with me. We went, and only thing I kept hearing in my head, the Holy Spirit was saying, I can't lose. I can't lose. As long as you got Christ, you cannot lose. That's a mantra. So when you wake up and you feel discouraged in the morning, you tell yourself, I can't lose. When your kids are not doing or being who God called them to be, you tell yourself, I can't lose. When your finances aren't adding up or lining up, you tell yourself, I can't lose. And the reason you cannot lose is because the fight is fixed. Jesus died on the cross for our sins. So if he died on the cross for our sins, baby, you can't lose in anything that you do. You may trip up, slip up, but get up, brush yourself off, and you keep moving forward because you can't lose. So when this music drop, it's gonna hit. And it's gonna hit in the streets, it's gonna hit in the club, it's gonna hit at your mama house, it's gonna hit at the fish fry, it's gonna hit everywhere in the church, outside the church, it's gonna hit because this is a kingdom sound. Everything that we've recorded, God gave me this. The producers, the writers, the engineers, God put all of this together. All of this. And it took me 2 years. 2. And everybody like, Akya, when you coming? When God said me to come. Because when he sets the way and he sets the order, it's going to flow. I don't want to do anything outside his will. I don't want to be not in alignment because y'all want me to rush.
Wow.
You should have caught me a couple years ago. Then I probably would have ran rampant. But no, I'm cool. I'll wait on him. Because the same people like, when you coming out? Them the same people that's probably not even downloading the music, sharing the videos. So yeah, I'm calling all the people out, period.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I am right now. Like if God, if he didn't tell me to, I'm not. I don't care how you feel. Take that over him.
Man, that is something been in my spirit when I hear what God said. It's been, I can't tell you, I've gotten a couple coaches, and I know one of them particularly, we've been going back and forth, but I know when God said, it's like that Noah moment.
Yeah, that Noah.
I didn't ask for it, but it was God said. And when God said comes, you have to be obedient to it, and you have to trust how he's directing you on that, how to go about it.
Yeah.
And being still, not just do it because it makes sense all the time, but do it the way he instructs you to do it. Times before, I remember one time I was working doing security one time. I seen a guy who got smoked his black mouth. God told me, go ahead and tell that guy, Jesus loves you. I'm like, I'm not about to do that. And I did it though. I kind of, got over there, and the guy was going through some life. And man, I want to say, end up crying and kind of reveal some things to me, but just let me know then, like, man, I can get in my own way. When you just follow what God said, you'll be surprised just how God can use you.
Absolutely.
And so I've seen so many times this when I just let go and follow that simple, still voice, allow God to just operate in the way he reveals us to do. This is how it falls in place. Like you're inside the movie watching it. Right. Yes. Absolutely. And so I'm so pleased. I'm so thankful that what you're doing, we definitely want to continue to support you. I told you a while ago, sometimes God put me around certain people to say, how can I support? And one thing you did when I asked you that question, you led me to someone else. And it was like, wow, even though I know I told you that I got your back, if you got some things going on, please let me know, how can I sow, how can I support? And you definitely still find ways to help me, introduce me to other people who are doing great things. But I still extend that invite. Okay. Please let us know how we can be there to support, because I believe, like you said, it's not about what I'm doing, but how can I further the kingdom? Right. How can I support those who I know is firm soul? And when we do that, we'll see God's hand move. Absolutely. And so if you can, please share again, because you kind of closed it out right there. I don't even want to mess that up, but if you can, I guess you can let the people know something else that's near and dear to your heart. Maybe something that you tell yourself or anything else. What would you say that to the people? Okay, that's what I tell myself. I can't lose because I win. Yes. And I tell people this every day, all day. I don't care what life is putting in your face. If God be for you, nothing else can be against you. And the reason you know that is because he gives you an opportunity every morning. Every day he wakes you up, he's giving you another opportunity to win. So even before you put your feet on the ground, you just say, I can't lose. As long as I got Christ, I can't lose. That's it. Yes. Period. That's it. There you go. And if anyone wants to reach out to you, stay connected with you, how can they reach out to you? You can reach out to me on all social media platforms. That's Akya Canada, AKYA, Canada like the country. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube page right now. Akya Canada, AKYA, Canada like the country. On Facebook, go follow the artist page. All things Akya, AKYA. I would love to have you as my friend because friend, I love you, friend. And that's another thing. Yeah. God showed me I am an encourager. And so lately I've been doing like videos just to encourage people because he says, Akya, just because you go through, that doesn't mean people aren't going through as well. So what you're going through, share that. And then encourage them like you encourage yourself. And sometimes you have to talk to yourself like, self, get right. Okay, self, I'm back. Hello. Yeah. Right? So that's what we're doing. We're here to empower, to encourage, and to push you forward into your next, into your week, into your day. Because if you're not being great, that means the things that connected to you can't be great. So when you're great, everything around you can eventually become great and be great. That's it. You can close us out right there. But hey, we thank you for checking in with us on another episode of Be Great Podcast. Do like, do subscribe. But in the meantime, be great.